You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. They aren't latest things that makes it visual. Welcome to 16 years, 28 episodes of the Chris Voss Show, where you're bringing on the most amazing minds, the most amazing people, the most amazing ideas that uplift your life, make it better, and all that good stuff. Because we're not that kind of show that makes your life worse, and we don't platform garbage. So you just have to go to a podcast for that, I guess. But if you want to be uplifted, you want your life to be better and not miserable, listen to the Chris Voss Show. The attorneys say I can't guarantee that, but wink, wink. Trust me, you'll be fine. Anyway, guys, go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, facebook.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, and what's the other one? youtube.com/Chris Voss. Today, an amazing young lady on the show with us today. We're going to be talking about her insightful new app that she's got. I'm not sure if it's new, but it's new to me, so I'm just running with that. Amy Vincze joins us on the show today. She has been a dedicated professional in the health and wellness industry for over 20 years. She's a certified tapping coach for over 16 years, and she brings a wealth of expertise to her work. With tapping, Amy has witnessed profound transformations both in her own life and in the lives of her clients. She's even used tapping to heal herself from painful chronic medical conditions. As the founder of Soar with Tapping app, Amy is on a mission to make the life-changing benefits of tapping accessible to people everywhere. She firmly believes that tapping is one of the most powerful and transformative healing tools available today. Welcome to the show, Amy. How are you?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. We really appreciate it. Give us your .coms. How can people find out more about you on the interwebs?
You can go to my website, soarwithtapping.com. That's SOARWITHTAPPING.com. Or you can email me, amy@soarwithtapping.com. I'm on all of the social media platforms. And yeah.
Oh, there you go. So give us a 30,000 overview what you do there.
Well, I am a tapping coach, and many people have not heard about tapping. They often confuse it with the dance, tap dancing. But it is very, very different. And it is one of the most powerful healing modalities that I've ever come across. For those people that don't know, tapping is a really powerful combination of 3 different modalities. The first of which is acupuncture. The energy healing that comes with acupuncture is the very same that we use with tapping, but instead of the needles being put into acupressure points, we actually use the percussion of tapping on our acupressure points. But it also includes another aspect of therapy, cognitive therapy, just like traditional talk therapy. It includes while you're tapping on your energy meridians and acupressure points, you are actively talking about whatever it is you want to release. So if there's anger or resentment or some fear or some trauma, you're talking about it while you're tapping on your body.
Oh, wow. And so does that create a disassociation maybe of that feeling an event?
What it does is that it allows you to feel it in a really safe space. And I'll explain kind of what's happening on a biological level in just a second. The third modality is somatic therapy. Which is kind of the basis of all kind of meditation and mindfulness practices. Somatic therapy is about getting ourselves grounded in the present moment, kind of quieting down that monkey brain of ours and just tapping into the present moment when most of us are worried about something that happened in the past and or catastrophizing about the future. The act of physically tapping on our body can't help but kind of gather all of our energy back in this present moment where we are the most powerful and most efficient versions of ourselves. So all three of those things happening at once is a really powerful combo. What's happening on a biological level when we get stressed is that stress center of our brain, the
Mhm.
amygdala, has been triggered somehow.
Mhm.
Somehow, 99% of the time, we don't even know it's been triggered, but it's been triggered somehow, and we feel stress or anxiety or depression or any one of those things.
Mhm.
And what it's done is it has released a rush of cortisol, which is the stress hormone, released a ton of it into our bodies. It has started shutting down non-essential functions like our digestive system and our immune system, which over time, this can cause some really significant problems.
Mhm.
Um, so it does that because we are in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode, and it is um, in an extreme situation, it is rushing all of the blood to the areas of the body that it thinks we're going to need it so that we can get ourselves safe again.
Yeah. Fight or flight. You
Yeah.
gotta sometimes, I do that anytime I see, salad.
Anytime the phone rings these days, right?
Run away from the salad.
We're in a perpetual state of stress. It's even
So, is
become
there
a bit
anything
of a
stressful happening in the world today? Death, disease, famine? You sure?
yeah, yeah. And
Ah,
it's even become a badge of honor in kind of
mhm.
the professional world. If you're not stressed, then you're probably not being successul or, something along those lines.
Or worse, you're dead. You're not
Yeah,
stressed when you're
yeah.
dead. At least that's what I've heard. I mean, I don't have firsthand,
But
awareness of
being in that chronic state really takes a toll on
yeah.
us, physically and emotionally
Mhm.
over time.
Yeah, especially when you're
And
dead.
so being able to kind of cut down or shorten that process and even repair from that process is really essential for us to be able to live a happier life.
There
So
you go.
when you're tapping on those acupressure points, what you're doing over and over again is telling that stress center of in your brain, the amygdala, to de-escalate.
Mm,
De-escalate, de-escalate, de-escalate. It's okay to stand down in this moment. That guard dog of your amygdala can like quiet down and go to sleep
mhm,
and let your brain function and your body function as it normally would. And when it does that, it is taking the stress hormone cortisol out of your body
mhm.
43% faster than if you had done nothing else. It is lowering your heart rate, lowering your blood pressure, increasing your immune system response, and overall creating a happier environment for yourself. So it's a
Oh.
really powerful, really fast, and effective tool to make big changes in your body and your mind.
Now you mentioned the 3 different ways, that people can tap. One is a percussion thing that can help tap. Now, I've got some enemies that I find really annoying, and can I do the tapping on them with a baseball bat? Is that a method that, is adhered to or not?
Of course, I think that that's discouraged in
Oh,
all forms of
damn
the
it.
law, but
All
yeah,
right, where's my pen? I gotta write this down. Note to self.
right. Yeah.
I mean, what's the difference between, tapping with your fingers or what is a tapping device that you normally use for that percussion type tapping?
It's
Use
just
a
your
set of
fingers,
drumsticks or,
just your fingers, you don't need
okay.
anything. You can
Oh,
tap anywhere, anytime, just your fingers. If you know where the tapping points are, then you can tap on them. You tap on them
hmm,
in a certain order, and you just talk about whatever it is that is not going right or, wanna change.
yeah. Here,
So
let
if
me
you've
try here.
got
I
a
wanna kill
phobia
my
of
enemies and hit them with a baseball bat.
if you've
I
got a
feel better.
phobia of flying or something like that, you can tap on all the fears about flying. If
Oh,
you can't sleep at night, you can tap on how your mind is racing and it's just not gonna quiet
oh,
down enough for you to be able to close your eyes and rest. So I tap on absolutely everything, and it has changed my life, as you can imagine, in really profound ways.
there you go. And you've been doing it for 16 years, coaching
I
people
have
on that.
been certified for 16 years. I've been doing tapping probably more like 18 or 19
Oh,
years.
wow. There
Yeah,
you go. And it's
and
worked for you. You help your clients go through it. Now you've developed this app. Let's talk about how this app works and how you help people through that.
well, because a lot of people don't know about tapping, there's a lot of instructional videos on the app for not only how to tap, but where to tap, And there's 160 at the current time, 160 different tapping scripts
Wow.
that you can follow along with, because a lot of
Mhm.
people don't know what to say when they're tapping. They don't know how to even maybe verbalize whatever it is they're experiencing.
Mhm.
So yeah, the scripts will lead you through it, and they tell you where to tap and what to say at each different tapping point,
Mm.
and just kind of hold your hand through the
Mhm.
healing process on even some bigger issues like anxiety, depression, procrastination, addiction, all of those issues. There's videos for how to approach it, what to
Mhm.
start tapping on first, and then how to progress forward as you continue to heal.
Mm. Now, I think I've done some tapping in the past, but it might have been banging my head up against the wall, or I don't know, punching my head with my fist when I'm pissed.
Well, if you were
Uh,
tapping in the right spot, it might just have done some good. You never know.
Might have. I think I got a small concussion one time. Yeah, who knows, yeah. But that would explain everything, though. So there
Yeah.
you go. So now tell us about some of the services you offer on your website in addition to the app. Do you do consulting, coaching, speaking on that as well?
Yes, I do corporate workshops, because this is a tool that is easily applied to stress
Hmm.
and issues that will affect the workplace and
Hmm.
productivity and things like that. So, corporate environments are a good match for what I do and what I talk about. I
Hmm.
do events where I have an event coming up where talking about and tapping through the wisdom of feminine rage.
Mm. The
Um,
wisdom of feminine rage.
mhm.
There you go. Do I
Yeah.
want to go to that if I'm a man, or is that the dangerous place to be? It sounds like maybe if it's a
Well,
whole room
it's not
full of
gonna be
angry women.
focused on men, so hopefully it wouldn't feel dangerous for you, but,
Oh, okay.
traditionally, women have not allowed that real angry part of themselves to ever come out, and it happens at great cost over time to themselves.
Hmm.
So, just trying to honor the fact that anger is an important emotion, and
Yeah.
doesn't always have to be destructive, but it is important to be able to um, find your truth and speak your truth and also create boundaries.
There you go. As long as it doesn't make you want to take a baseball bat to your enemies, like I joked about at the beginning of the show, then it's okay.
Right. This is
Yeah.
all about releasing anger
Yeah.
and getting it to a balance point where it's we're not living there and we're not suppressing it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when you suppress feelings, when you hold stuff back or suppress trauma or different things, it just kind of festers like a poison.
It
So, yeah. You ever
truly
seen those
does.
things that women go to? I mean, largely it seems women go to. I'm just going off the pictures I see.
Okay.
And they'll go and they'll yell like in the forest and stuff. Is that kind of what this is like, maybe, or is it as like a speaking engagement audience thing?
Well, it'll be an online event
Oh, okay.
where I there's a little bit of instruction to just tell people how important it is to be able to engage with anger when it's necessary.
Hmm.
But the rest of the time, we're just going to be tapping. We're going to be
Oh.
tapping on how scary anger feels sometimes, and being able to allow it. But then
Hmm.
we're also going to tap on kind of the collective rage that we feel for all the many, many atrocities that are committed against women on a daily basis.
Hmm.
Because when you start to allow anger, sometimes that type of anger can feel overwhelming, and so we tap on that to bring it back to a balance point.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so we're just going to be doing a lot of tapping and hopefully healing.
There you go. Yeah, I've seen these retreats that women do on like TikTok and Instagram, and they go in the woods and they just like really unleash, whatever they're angry about. They yell and they
Mhm.
scream at the top of their lungs. It's kind of like one of those. Yeah, you ever seen those new rage? They're in all the malls now. The rage rooms, I think they're called, and they have
Um,
they have just stuff that you can just destroy with baseball bats or
oh, interesting.
they're destruction rooms. Have you heard of these?
I have not.
They're
No,
pretty they're
that's
pretty wild. I believe they're called rage rooms. They're kinda like escape rooms. I guess we're into rooms now or something, that's the thing. Rage room, rage rooms? Yeah, do I have the right term? Yeah, yeah. So they'll have, like, smash rage rooms, and you go there, and they just have, like, all this junk, and they have graffiti on the walls, and like
Very
they have like
interesting.
whatever you want to destroy. Like I used to destroy a lot of printers back in the day because
Mhm.
try and work them and they wouldn't work, and you just finally just that I think that whole scene in Office Space where they take baseball bats to the printer,
Oh,
the
yeah.
fax machine. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty much what I was always going through back then, so I could feel that. But
That
they just
feels pretty cathartic, right?
yeah,
Just
they just go
crap
beat
out
the
of
crap out
something?
of us. I'm kind of worried because I've thrown my back out beating on printers and being angry and hitting stuff, and uh, and I don't know, man. There's some damage you can do to yourself if you're not careful. I mean,
Yeah, I guess
swinging a
so.
baseball bat, hitting something hard, that tones through your whole body.
Mhm.
But I mean, people like it. I mean, God
Maybe
forbid they.
screaming in the woods is just as good. You never know.
Yeah, yeah, screaming in the woods is good. That's what we do on Fridays around here in the Chris Voss show. We just go in the woods and take some edibles and scream and then cry a lot or something. And then we laugh it off once the edibles kick in. I
Yeah.
don't know. This sounds like a really awful party. Uh, so you help people walk through these. Now, do you focus on one of those three elements of tapping, or do you just focus on the percussion part?
They're all happening simultaneously.
Oh, okay.
The cognitive, the energy therapy, and the somatic, they're all happening simultaneously
Oh,
when
okay.
you're tapping on your body. So, yeah,
All
I'm
right.
doing all 3.
There you go. Tap in the body. I did try to put a tap in me once and see if beer would come out, and that didn't work.
Dang it.
These are the I don't
Somebody
know a lot
try
about
it.
tapping, folks. These are the best jokes I can come up with on the fly. You're just gonna have to laugh at how
Yeah.
silly they are. Yeah. So these smash and grab rooms, they're like everywhere. They're like usually next to escape rooms, and escape rooms, they're like a whole new puzzle of what's the word I'm looking for? Masochism. Like if you want to live trapped in a place where you have to fight to stay alive and get the hell out, it's kind of like the movie Saw, only without the horror and
Yeah.
blood as much, I guess. I don't know. I'm doing fine just watching I don't know, the news and what's going on social media to
Yeah,
to
that's enough
enough to
to induce anxiety. I don't need
I
to
I don't
place
need to
myself
I don't need
willingly
some other
in the
place I need to escape
environment.
from. I'm still trying to escape from here.
Yeah.
Take me to another planet, aliens, please. Oh my God, beat me up.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And
what are some stories maybe that you could share of helping your clients? Maybe someone who had a real breakthrough and that really helped them to discover tapping.
I'll tell you that phobias are generally really, really easy to dislodge,
Mm,
and can be totally neutralized within 1 or 2 sessions. I just had a
mm,
woman last week
hmm.
that struggled with a lifelong phobia of throwing up.
Oh,
And we did 2 tapping rounds. I mean, a full session for me is 90 minutes, and we went 60
mhm.
minutes, and she
Oh,
felt totally calm and completely fine about nobody likes throwing up, but
yeah,
there was no longer the panic. She no longer felt the
yeah,
panic about it. She said she used to, the minute she started feeling nauseated, she would start screaming, begging for people for help. Help her,
really,
please, because it was so scary for her. And
really,
yeah, she
wow.
felt really calm by the end. And that's been
Mm,
my experience working with people with,
mm,
as long as they don't have an associated trauma, but
mhm.
if they have like a phobia of flying or something like that, really easy to get rid of.
What if I have a phobia of tapping? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We can tap for that.
We can tap for it. There you
Yeah.
go. We can tap into that
Um,
in your brain.
I have cured myself of, chronic lower back pain
Oh, wow.
and chronic UTIs.
Mm,
Had thousands of UTIs over the years,
really?
and when I started tapping on the underlying cause and the issues that created it,
Mhm.
yeah, the pain goes away.
Oh, wow.
Pain goes away, and I worked on tapping on my lower back pain for maybe 2 hours,
Mhm.
and I haven't had a problem since, and it's
Wow.
been 8 years.
There you go. Chronic pain. Now, how about trauma? You mentioned trauma. We talk a lot about trauma on the show, the
Yeah,
effect it has, and how it can have over a lifetime. How does it work with trauma if people have that?
um, it works with trauma in that it accesses all of the feelings around the trauma.
Mhm.
You're releasing the feelings about the trauma by speaking about them, and when you're tapping on your body and speaking about them and feeling them at the same time, you're also telling that stress center in your brain that it's okay to feel safe and calm. You are in the present moment. Basically, you are no longer in that situation, and that situation no longer exists.
Hmm.
So you're kind of creating a safe bubble
Hmm.
to experience the trauma, and it's going to go at you're going to be able to move through it at a different pace depending on the person.
Hmm.
But it is so effective for people with PTSD, especially wartime PTSD,
Oh,
that
really?
they have a free program for veterans, to do tapping with coaches. And they have shown that after a short period of time, I can't remember how long they tapped, but it might have been as short as a month.
Hmm.
The people that participated in the study no longer satisfied all the markers for PTSD, so were no longer considered a PTSD patient anymore because they were now able to sleep. They didn't have the same levels of anxiety or depression or anything along those lines. So within a very short period of time, you can really decrease all of those markers, for stress-induced
Wow. There
PTSD.
you go.
Big T.
Yeah, emotion. It's interesting to me how many times, especially like trauma and emotion, can be stored in the body, and the
That's
body.
all trauma is
Yeah,
emotion.
yeah.
If you can't, remember it without feeling horrible or feeling panicked or something along those lines, then there is
Mhm,
unresolved emotion that needs to be processed out of your body.
mhm,
And, the safest container to do that in is with tapping that I know of, because it's constantly calming that stress center of your brain, and it's also releasing emotions at the same time.
there you
That's why
go.
it's so fast. I mean, you can go
Yeah.
through cognitive therapy alone for years and achieve the same results with tapping in, weeks, months,
Mhm.
depending on how quickly you wanna or how much you wanna devote yourself to it.
There you go. There you go. Tapping. And I'm glad it works for a lot of people,
Mhm.
a lot of people, especially people with trauma or PTSD, like you talk about, or heightened emotions that they find uncontrollable. These sort of things maybe can help get that under control and maybe disassociate those feelings or emotions. I'm not sure what the science is on it. Clearly, I'm just meandering here.
Mhm.
Just filling. And yeah, it can help hopefully get control for those things from the experience you've had and everything else. And maybe I should send you some referrals of my enemies so you can work with them. But can you tap them can you teach them to tap themselves with a baseball bat? Ah,
You wish.
I can dream. I can
Yeah.
dream, can I? See, this. I'm using that same thing that we were talking about earlier, where people use a way to, cleanse their emotions by
Yeah.
exercising them. So that's what I'm doing here on the show by talking about revenge on my enemies makes it so I don't have to exercise.
Just talking, not
so
putting
I,
it into action.
so Amy, what do you see the future being for your app? Are you going to move into other things, expand it into maybe some other services? Anything coming in the future for you that we should know about?
Tapping is definitely my thing. I
Hmm.
will continue to expand the app as much as I can and make it as usable for as many people as possible. I'll continue to add scripts and different ways of saying things. So whatever appeals to people, I'm going to try and create that for them. Um, I'm going to continue to work with individual clients because that's one of my
Hmm.
absolute favorite things to do.
Hmm.
And it's my mission to educate people. So corporate workshops and other events, I will continue to coordinate. So
Hmm.
yeah, keep
Now,
watching.
if the app is on my phone and I just start hitting someone with my phone, is that the same as tapping?
I don't recommend that
Oh,
either, Chris.
all
That
right.
might actually
Note
ruin
to self,
the
that's not going to work.
phone. Yeah.
I don't know. This tapping thing sounds like a lot of fun for to do to other people. There you go. Maybe I'll go tap and bang my head against the wall there for a while because I can't get away with any of this stuff. So now I noticed here that on your website Tapping is a Chinese energy meridian. Tell
Mm.
us a little about what's the history of tapping? Does this go back to early Chinese history?
Well, energy meridians, Chinese people discovered it,
Mhm.
almost thousands of years ago, I think. So it's been around forever.
Mm,
Um, but tapping itself was developed, I think it was the late 70s. There was
mm,
a psychotherapist who was working with a woman who had a severe phobia of water,
mhm,
and couldn't bathe or anything like that because she just couldn't be around water. And he, at the time, was also studying energy meridians, and she happened to feel the fear of water in her stomach. And so he told her, well, why don't you tap on your stomach meridian while you are talking about this fear? And she did that,
mm.
and she had, what's called a 1 minute miracle, basically, and was completely cured of her phobia.
Oh, wow.
This psychotherapist then took that and developed it into something called thought field therapy, and it was rather complicated in that you would only tap on certain energy meridians for certain ailments. And then one of his students, Gary Craig, took it one step further, and he just engineered it to the point where we're tapping on all of the energy meridians
Mm,
while we're talking about whatever it is we want to release, so that we're making sure that everybody can make it as usable as possible, and we just keep tapping through the points over and over again. So if it is the stomach meridian that needs to be hit, it's going to be hit many, many times while we're going through the process.
mm.
So he engineered it in that way, and it has become even more simplified since then, and there have been great advancements made in actually how to tap, and meaning that you really kind of lean into the uncomfortable emotions first, whatever they are. You lean into the fear, you lean into the trauma, or the whether it's anger or hurt or sadness or grief or whatever it is. You really talk about that a lot and experience it a lot. And then when we do this rating on a scale from 0 to 10. It's a really subjective rating, but it's hard to, quantify the emotional journey. So you might start working on something, and you might feel the intensity of it at a 10, and then you just keep tapping and tapping and tapping until you get down to like um, maybe a 3 or 4, using all of the, just kind of honoring and acknowledging over and over again the uncomfortable nature of the emotion. And
Mm,
then when you get down to a 3 or 4, that's when your mind and your body will start to believe all of the positive reinforcement that you can give yourself. Like, maybe that actually isn't true. Maybe that person didn't hurt me on purpose. Maybe
mm,
they just didn't know better, or maybe they haven't done enough healing themselves to understand how much it impacted me. So we start kind of poking holes in whatever it is our fear or our belief is, and then we can go completely down the positive road and neutralize it down to a 0 in a really short period of time.
there you go. Well, that's pretty wild. I mean, it's something that can make people healthier and, controlling emotions. I mean, people that get caught up with their emotions and sometimes they can become overwhelming or swirl. They can have some issues. People get depressed and they kind of get caught in this loop of emotions and depression where, their mind's just constantly, hitting them over the head with, negative thoughts. And, this is the time you did something dumb. And, see, my favorite time is at night when I'm trying to go to bed. My brain starts playing all this stupid shit I've done throughout my life. It's like,
Mhm.
here's something dumb you did in 1995. And I'm like, do you have something better to do, buddy? Could come up. I'm trying to
You know
sleep.
what's funny though, Chris? The problem is we don't engage with the emotions in a way where we actually feel them.
Oh,
We will actually intellectualize them,
hmm,
and that isn't the thing that gets rid of it. It's actually feeling the emotion in our body that will do it,
hmm,
and it only takes 90 seconds. If
hmm,
we can, like, stay with an emotion for 90 seconds and actually feel it, that is how long it takes for it to start dissipating.
no,
So, we've just never been taught or encouraged to lean into our emotions like that, and I think that's the thing that has led us down the path of so many people suffering from anxiety and depression
yeah,
and PTSD today, because we haven't learned how to process this. And tapping is a great way to do it gently and easily.
I love it. I love it. Well, there you go. People can download it on their iPhone or their Google app, their Google phone, their Android phone, all that good stuff. As we go out, give people a final pitch out, how they can reach out to you, how they can onboard for your consulting services, download the app, et cetera, et cetera.
You can always email me, amy@soarwithtapping.com. You can go to the Google or Apple Play stores and just search Soar with Tapping. And I look forward to hearing your messages and hopefully your testimonials about how well tapping has worked for you.
There you go. And you can download it. It's as easy as that. That's what we do nowadays. We download everything.
Yes. There's a 14-day free trial. So
nice.
Yeah. So give it a try, and there's no harm can be done by just trying it. So, suspend judgment until you actually give it a shot and see if it works for you.
There you go. There you go. Well, thank you very much, Amy, for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And thanks, for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss1 on the TikTok and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next.
You've been listening to the most amazing, intelligent podcast ever made to improve your brain and your life. Warning, consuming too much of the Chris Voss Show podcast can lead to people thinking you're smarter, younger, and irresistible sexy. Consume in regularly moderated amounts. Consult a doctor for any resulting brain bleed.